Hey everyone, this is Trader Rob. This is your weekly recap on your previous weekly bands and tradable levels given to you last Sunday, and providing you our upcoming weekly bands and signals for this coming week. The last couple of weeks of trading have really improved. I am currently 12 straight days in the green, which is fantastic. Trading has been really good. Been having a lot of fun with the daily streams. I've kind of changed up the live stream here in the morning. I've really concentrated from Monday through Thursday to provide you guys with very simple trades on the NQ and the ES with exact limit order entry, stop loss, and take profit levels. Generally getting about 3 to 4 trades per day that I am providing you guys with. Obviously, we need price action to cooperate to get to a few of those, but on average, we've been hitting at least 1 or 2 of them per day. And between the ES and the NQ, there has not been a shortage of signals and a shortage of trading opportunities, which has been fantastic. I will say the markets kind of continue to be in a pretty balanced state. And what I mean by balanced is as we start getting these kind of momentum pushes to the upside, just as quickly as we're getting that momentum to the upside, we're quickly retracing some pretty healthy pullbacks, balancing out that volume that was left previously on that momentum move, making another move to the upside, giving another pullback, making another move to the upside, another pullback. And that's what I mean by a balanced market. Typically in unbalanced markets, we are pretty much like in a straight trend. You could definitely say that we are trending upwards, obviously, as of recent, but every single move has been met with a counterbalance move to the back to the downside as well. So, but overall, we are still inching, we still are moving back to the upside. So with that being said, let's get into this week's upcoming tradable bands, these weekly bands that have been, well, we'll get into it. Let's get into the charts. As always, nothing that I state on my channel is financial advice. Trading futures or any type of trading is risky business. Any capital that is put out there is at risk for loss. All right, so before we get into, we'll actually start off on the NQ. Before we get into kind of like how the bands reacted and how the tradable levels reacted, I just want to kind of give a precursor here. I've been giving out these weekly bands and tradable levels now for almost about 2 years. And as you guys have witnessed, the people that watch me pretty religiously on YouTube, you guys know how powerful these bands are, how extremely difficult it is for price action to get through these bands. Typically, like I always say, 3 different things that will get you through them: scheduled and unscheduled high impact news, and the third and last one would be your multiple retaps of that same band will obviously eventually fail. Now, with that being said, this current week of bands did not perform very well. That move that we had Monday, Tuesday to the upside just took no prisoners. It was almost 1,000 straight points up to, on the upside on the NQ with very little pullbacks. Consequently, we have pulled back since then and have gone right back and balanced a lot of those areas that we had that big impulsive move to the upside. But with that being said, as we go over how the bands and tradable levels reacted, you're going to probably say, Rob, well, these obviously they didn't really show much as far as your strategy of finding unbalanced volume. Yes, you are correct in that matter. But if we go back to producing about 52 videos, 53 videos per year on these signal bands, how many times have we had this conversation? How many times have we had the conversation? I can remember maybe once prior, at least this year in 2026, that we just had bands that got completely blown through and the market was just had an absolute target and was not going to look back. With that being said, during that 1,000-point move to the upside, where we blew through some of those bands, at least visually when you're on the 15-minute chart, they look like you're blowing through them. But I will say one thing, these bands were the only areas where the market got up to and had to at least hesitate. It was at least a speed bump. It was definitely not a barrier. It was not, a collision course with our band and a retracement back to the backside, which obviously is what I'm always looking for. So take that for what it's worth. Again, these, it was a pretty unique situation on the NQ and the ES, this last week. So don't get distracted. Don't get discouraged. Just keep trading the system 1 to 1.5 risk to reward at an absolute minimum. And you're going to do just fine. You're going to do just fine, especially with these limit orders. It just takes away all the guesswork on these trades, and just let the math do its job. So let's jump over to Sunday. Here's our gap. We have not filled the entire gap, actually. We did not fill this entire gap here yet. I think we've left a little piece of sliver over here that still has not been closed out. So let's just kind of follow price action, and then we're going to started here in that big pump, which was towards, I think, end of Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday was the big one. So the first band that we encountered on the NQ was the 28,991 to the 28,906. As you guys can see, we got into this band at around 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time here. So the last couple hours of the market open. And, this was, again, just kind of a speed bump. Not really a huge retracement. If we were trading this band here 1 to 1, 1 to 1.5, this was a loser. Okay, we get that. I get that. This was a loser. Even the tradable level here, if you go down to a 5-minute or a 1-minute, you did see reactions to here. You saw 10, 15-point scalpable areas off of this 28,906, but nothing great. I'm not here to feed you guys some bullshit. It just, the band, the level, the market had another idea, that was for sure. But we then finally tapped into, this was Monday night, we finally tapped into this tradable level I gave you at the 29,030. Now that one I couldn't get through. That one repelled price action extremely well. And you say, okay, Rob, that doesn't look like that big of a move. Well, from the 20,030s down to the 28,930s is 100 points. This is a 100-point rejection to the downside, okay? So really nice job on this tradable level. So we'll continue. And then this is exactly what I was kind of explaining to you guys earlier. This is when Tuesday, we pretty much market open. This was the open right here. We finally entered into the 29,286. I was pretty excited about this band, and the market, it was a roadblock. Okay, it was definitely a speed bump, but did it repel price action? No, it did not. It churned through this volume extremely well, and then we got just an absolute straight move to the upside. Here, actually, I think this was the band that I was really super pumped about. I was actually kind of upset. Did end up losing a signal right here. I had a signal sitting about a point above this initial reaction to the downside, so we missed our entry here by about a point. I remember watching this like if it was yesterday. It was a rocket ship to the upside. Again, we missed it by a point here. We would have taken out TP1, TP2, but it just blew right through it. It blew right through it right after that. So again, we had that initial reaction right at the tip of this, at the base, I should say, of this weekly band. Small little bump in the road, but nothing to repel price action. And we're just going to keep on going because it's the theme. It is what it is. We finally got into our next weekly band right here at the 29,889 to the 29,820. And same thing, market kind of chewed through this band pretty damn easy. We did get a reaction off the 29,874. Kind of a lot of drawdown here if you're just taking a limit order from here. If you've got some type of candlestick confirmation, or in my case, a footprint confirmation, you could have probably captured maybe 70 to 80 points on this move to the downside. I actually felt like this might be the rejection. This might be the pivot here on the NQ. Did not turn out to be that way. And we just continued to make our way to the upside. And then we then had a pretty strong retracement, which is, again, what I was talking about. And the unfortunate part about this retracement is all of the impulsive moves that we had to the upside, they all got retraced back. They all got balanced back out. And we just kind of continue following price action. We balanced, I mean, every band that we blew through, we balanced right out. Okay, so it kind of just sucked all the volume out of the marketplace there. So that's why I state that we are in a pretty balanced market. So let's delete that. Let's delete that, this, and this one. And that should be. That should be it. No, we gotta get rid of this guy too. This guy, that's it now. Yes. All right, so now let's start from the beginning. We got a bunch of bands here, so stick with me here. First band is going to be sitting at the 29,082 to the 29,005, 29,082 to the 29,005. Okay, so that's going to be our first band. First band sitting below price action. Again, 29,082 to the 29,005. Next band will be sitting below it. 28,600 to the 28,530. Again, 28,600 to the 28,530. Here's your next weekly band. Got to put a space here, and it's gonna drive me crazy. 28,600 to the 28,530. Next band, it's gonna be sitting right next to this guy, right? I believe. 27,921 to the 27,844. 27,921 to the 27,844. No, sitting right here. 27,921 to the 27,844. That's your next band below you. Gotta get rid of this one. That one's been. And our final band is going to be sitting at the 27,587 to the 27,488, 27,587 to the 27,488. And there's your, I think I might have already had that band in there. Yep. All right, so I don't need to add that guy. He's already in there. So those are all of your new weekly bands on the NQ. Now, again, you can say, Rob, you went through those pretty quickly. How am I gonna map all these on the chart? Well, I'll tell you right now, the simplest way is go to my website, which is robstrades.com. And right on the homepage, you know what? We'll do it together. There you go. Go to robstrades.com. Right on the homepage, get my tradable levels delivered every Sunday. I want them. Just put in your name and your email, and I'll get those over to you. Okay, it comes once a week. It's the only thing that you get from me. All my weekly bands, all my tradable levels, they're all in there. So now let's go into our new tradable levels. We still have this 28,209, guys. Don't snooze on this level. Trading prop, if you're trading live, this one, I'm telling you, mark this one up on your chart. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. All right, and then the only one underneath that is it underneath or is it above? I think it's above. Should be above. 28,889. Text 28,889. And you got to be sitting right there. And that's your last new tradable level here on the NQ. So these are all scalpable. These are obviously limit orders, stop loss, take profit. Again, highly encourage you to watch my morning show. It's a live stream that I do every single morning at 7 a.m. So about an hour and a half before the market opens. And I go over all of the developing weekly bands, the same ones that I'm giving you here, the ones that are developed throughout the trading session, the overnight session, and then the next morning, you're given exact entry, take profit, stop losses on all of these trades. And I'm telling you, it's a built-in strategy for you. It's just hop on and take a look. All right, ES. Let's jump to Sunday. I think this kind of looked pretty similar to the NQ, but we'll take a look anyways. All right, so the NQ, on the ES, we had a big gap fill, or I should say a big gap. On the ES, we have barely filled any of it. Okay, we've barely filled any of this gap to the downside. Okay, very different story than the NQ as far as the Sunday gap fill. What can I say? Look at these levels. This was that same push at the 75.79 to the 75.91. I mean, you got some reaction probably right here. Let's just kind of, just for shits and giggles here. Let's go to Monday's price action. All right, let's get into the market open. So this is the morning session. All right, so if we drop down here, you'll see that these got really nothing here. Okay, that was a big loser right there. I don't say that much, but that was a big loser right there. Look at your 75.91. That's why I say sometimes when you drop down to the lower time frame, you can actually see the reactions. On a 15-minute chart, it looks like it blew right through it. But just look at the reaction. 75.91, really nice move to the downside. That's why these are scalpable. Yes, I understand you would have taken a loss there on the 75.79. Can't do nothing about it. But on this one, really nice reaction to the downside here, and that was good for about 10 points. Perfect scalp on the ES. And then we'll just kind of, let me jump back to the 15-minute because it's going to take me a good amount of time there. Let's go. All right. I probably should have stayed on the 1 minute just so I could show you here what happened at the 76.61. So we'll drop back down to the 1 minute. So we'll drop to the 1 minute and we'll see what... Go to Tuesday. Let's go there. All right, let's get to this level. All right. Now, on this level here at the 76.61, was it the best level like I was mentioning before on the NQ? No, not really. Not really. A shit ton of drawdown there. If you had a limit order resting there, you're going to take a loser. If you've got a candlestick confirmation, which I teach you guys, or if you've got a footprint confirmation, which I teach you guys, you could probably get out of that bad trade right there. Maybe capitalize some of this. Maybe just forget this trade altogether. So we'll jump back up to the 15-minute. And I like to do this because I like to just show every single Sunday. Obviously I show you guys all the winners. I show you guys all the phenomenal, how well the bands do. But when they suck, they suck. So, might as well show you those as well. And I believe that is where we finished off on the ES. So now let me just do a quick deletion of these levels. This guy's gone, this guy is gone, and this guy's gone. All right. So the only thing sitting below us is the 73.36. There's a tradable level. And this weekly band that's been sitting here for so long, 73.02 to the 72.60. Now let's get into the one new weekly band that the ES has. It does have a decent amount of tradable levels though this week. Yes. 75.44 to the 74.95. 75.44 to the 74.95. And I did not put the label in. Oh, I did. Good. All right, so that's your first new weekly band here. Now remember, weekly bands, this is all buying volume here. Okay, all buying volume. So when we come into this band right here, we're looking for a retracement, a pullback, just an absolute send off in the other direction once getting into this band at the 75.44 to the 74.95. As far as tradable levels for the ES, again, these are all scalping levels, minimum 5 to 10 points. First level is going to be the 76.53. 76.53. It's your first tradable level. Second tradable level is going to be at the 75.73. 75.73. And your third and final tradable level is going to be at the 74.54. There you go. There are your weekly bands and tradable levels now for the NQ and the ES. Lastly, we'll talk about gold. Gold just been on an absolute rip. Absolute rip. This was the only band that I gave you. This is Tuesday. It entered into this weekly band on Tuesday. Obviously, we saw some rejections here. We saw some rejections and pullbacks from here. But would I say that this was a really successful band in gold? No. The longs killed us. It killed me on the bands. Now, conversely, I traded them extremely well. I figured out, which ones to trade, how to trade them, and had a actually extremely profitable week in the markets. Had a lot of fun with Cash Profit Friday this past Friday. Yeah, actually yesterday. Had one of the viewers take home some cash money. And trading I thought was really good. It was really, really good. So if you want, take a look at the replay on the live stream from that. If you want, you could probably, I think one of my best trades, maybe one of my best trades in a while. Just talk the entire thing through, added position, added to a winner, knew exactly where I wanted to add, knew exactly where I wanted to take my profit at. Just a fantastic trade. Probably towards the last 10 minutes of that video. So if you want to jump to that one, I think it's a good watch. All right, so enough talking there. Let's get into, I only got one new gold band for you. Actually, I'm sorry, I got two. 4310.7 to the 4289.7. 4310.7 to the 4289.7. All right. So this one is sitting below current price action here on gold. Again, if this is all buyer controlled volume, weekly bands, price action comes down here, we're expecting it to repel price action from there. And then also we've got another piece of buying volume, weekly band at the 4145.1 to the 4119.5. Again, 4145.1 to the 4119.5. Same thing with this weekly band, all buying volume sitting down here at the 4145 to the 4119. Price action comes down here. We want to see a nice move to the upside. Going right back to the NQ, we seem to be pretty far from the closest weekly band. I don't think we're really in any jeopardy of Sunday's gap or a gap from tomorrow gapping into one of these weekly bands, which has kind of been happening the last couple of weeks. So, you know, obviously we might gap down, or we might gap to the upside up here, but we're really not in any type of territory where we're just going to gap into a band. So this should be pretty easy week for us. And again, I highly encourage you to do a few things. One, follow me on X. I started to post for the first time this week. I've been pretty damn active on X. My handle is at Trader Rob Levels. So a few cool things that I'm kind of doing here on obviously promoting my new pre-market show. It's 30 minutes every single morning. I think it's the most valuable 30 minutes that you're going to have as your pre-session routine. Again, guys, I start at 5 o'clock in the morning. I start 3.5 hours before the market opens. I methodically map out my charts every single morning. I then methodically go through all of my media kind of responsibilities between Discord, updating my Discord, updating my socials, updating YouTube, and working in my signal service group. Those end up obviously taking time as well. But all of this really, guys, is for you guys to have some clear market, at least direction, and areas where you're going to see support and resistance, supply and demand. I call it balance and unbalanced volume. These perfect example of a setup I gave you guys on which was this August 6th. I believe that was on Wednesday. No, I'm sorry, on Thursday. I gave you guys a setup on the morning stream, 50 plus points right there on it. This one hit TP1, TP2. I also give you guys a key level, a golden key level every single day. This is a hand-picked level. Okay, a hand-picked level that I give you that has the exact entry. So the entry on this one would be a short at the 77.97. 5-point take profit and 5-point stop loss. 1-to-1. Very simple trade, guys. Very prop friendly. Every single morning I give you guys one. Here you go. NQ long. Gave you guys this one, I believe was this on Monday? No, that was on Wednesday. August 5th, Wednesday. So on Wednesday, I gave you guys NQ long at the 29,538. Long on the NQ 29,538, 15-point take profit and 15-point stop loss. Here's the result of that trade. Oh, maybe later. Absolute zero drawdown. And again, most of my trades that take TP are going to be very, very little drawdown. So again, very, very prop friendly for you guys. Post these on X, like I said, every single morning. Wednesday was fantastic. I ended up taking a 50-point trade on a NQ contract off a signal. I also had a TP1, TP2 off of my signal service group. Ended up taking $1,000 on that one, which was fantastic. Again, just been having a lot of fun. And then obviously I've got some of my, who's running a discount. I've kind of gotten away a little bit from that on the live streams in the morning. If you guys notice, my format has also kind of changed, that you guys see on the screen. And I've really built it around what I personally need to see throughout my trading day. So I don't necessarily need to tell you guys 100,000 times that I'm an affiliate with Apex or Tradeify or Lucid. I think you guys know that by now. You guys know that my code is Trader Rob. You know, I appreciate very, very much the support that I get from there. But personally, it doesn't help. That doesn't help my trading. I know it doesn't help your trading that's looking at my live streams. So I've really tried to put exactly what I need on my chart, or I should say on the frame that you guys are seeing on YouTube. Some people don't like it. Some people love it. It's like I said it to one of the viewers on Friday. It's built for me. And I'm looking at my recording software every single time I'm doing my live streams, every time I'm doing a video, every time I'm in my Signal service group, because I'm live on my Signal group, live trading every single morning from 7 a.m. all the way up until 11 o'clock. Okay. So the live stream on YouTube, which is my morning pre-session show, is from 7 a.m. to 7:30. So I've got this recording software open on my front and center all day long. So what did I want on there? I wanted to know at a quick glance what the major equities, the major commodities are currently doing. So I've got the NASDAQ, the Dow, the S&P, the Russell. I then have Bitcoin thrown in there. I've got just a few currencies, and I got gold. That's it. That's all I need to see. I'd like to see at a glance what they're currently doing throughout the morning. I got my high impact news events sitting to the left side of your screen. So I already know for that morning what I got to look out for and what times. And then I've added a news service that gives me at least headlines, and I've been tweaking on what's been working the best. And currently I think that we have got a kind of a better RSS feed coming in now, which is it's primarily focused on war updates, oil and commodity updates, and a few just pieces of like just world news. And that is, I think, enough for me to have at least a scrolling news service, put in front of me, that if there's something that it updates every 3 minutes. It's not updating in real time. It's updating every 3 minutes, but it's enough while I'm trading for me to glance at really quickly. It's been working out. So I built this around you guys. I've kind of taken away all of the advertisements of the prop firms and the Signal service. Well, I do have the Signal service. It does say join my live trading room and Signal service at robstrades.com. So there is a piece of advertisement on the chart, but it's not this huge banner and shit that's floating around the screen all the time. I've kind of gotten away from that, and that's kind of where I was at. Hope you guys enjoy this new format, and I hope to see you guys. Come stop by. It's 7 in the morning. I know it's a little bit early, but guys, get an early start. It feels great to have the day mapped out, have some limit orders put out in the market, and being able to collect some profits throughout the day. Take care, guys. Have a great weekend.